Here with reaction, former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, the co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business, Brian Bremberg, is with us. All right, Reince, am I wrong in my observation? I mean, he couldn't do the Super Bowl interview. I think that's very revealing. But when it comes to the State of the Union, you read a few lines, they clap, you take a drink of water. If Nancy Pelosi was the speaker, you'd watch her tearing up a Donald Trump speech. Not that hard to do, is it?
Not hard to do, but I'm not sure how it's going to go tomorrow night. I mean, I think things have changed in the last year. And listen, you're right. It's not about age. I mean, what the Democrats are doing now is they're trying to turn this whole argument into, well, yeah, he's old, and they're both old. It's not about being old. It's what my mom says now that she's older, and she's sharp as a tack. She'll argue anyone under the table. But she always says, the older you get, the more important it is to act younger than you are. And let's not forget the Her report. In the Her report, they talked about diminished faculties, a bad memory, and they said he committed the act of the willful retention of documents, but then they said, but we don't know if he's competent enough as a witness to stand trial. And that tells you everything you need to know. And in the exit polls yesterday, 73% of Democrats said that the person they were voting for was too old to be president, and 75% said they wished that they had a different candidate. So look, Joe Biden's at rock bottom. Not to mention the economy and everything else, and how they're doing with women, with black voters, with Hispanic voters, with young voters, with voters in the Midwest. We've got to be sharp because it's going to come down to 100,000 votes in 5 states, and it's going to be a dogfight. But Joe Biden's at rock bottom, and I agree with what you're saying, and it's actually pretty scary for the country.
And if what they're telegraphing, Brian, they've been out there pushing Bidenomics. And what they're telegraphing we're likely to hear tomorrow night is, well, forget about the buck stops with him. He's going to blame greedy corporations and shrinkflation on companies and attack them for his failed policies. And after 3 years of saying the border is secure and the border is closed, he's going to blame Republicans for the issues involving the border, which is it's not really even funny considering the danger that he has now put the country in with nearly 10 million unvetted, illegal Joe Biden immigrants from countries that are our top geopolitical foes in many cases.
Yeah, let me just go to the economics, since that's my thing. He's going to cite the authority of a Muppet to tell you that shrinkflation with cookies is our biggest problem. That's right. And then what he's going to do is create a strike force of his FTC and his DOJ. And, of course, that's the Elizabeth Warren wing of his bureaucracy. And what they're going to start doing is suing more companies. They're going to make companies lawyer up to defend their higher prices, which means what? Your prices are going to go up as these companies have to lawyer up. He's going to accomplish exactly the opposite of what he said. And he's going to do it based on bogus Muppet economics while he ignores the real issues in this country. And Sean, I hope for our sake as a country, he nails his State of the Union tomorrow night. But I will tell you, if you want to bet a dinner on that, I'd be the first guy to take you up on it.
All right, you got a deal. I'll take the bet. I always like, a good, fun bet.
All right.
We know what their game plan is. They've telegraphed it. You just heard Hillary. Democracy in peril. Ironically, from the same people that would like one politician, even though Donald Trump's never been charged with insurrection, they want to try, convict him, kick him off the ballot. If you want to talk about democracy in peril, they'll talk about Donald Trump as evil. They'll talk about January 6th. They'll talk about demagogue abortion. And then the usual Reince Republicans are racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, transphobic. They want dirty air, water, and they want to kill Granny and Grandpa. So that's their whole plan. They can't run on, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? That's what they do every 2 and 4 years. Will it be successful?
I don't think it's going to be successful because you got to look at the numbers. 24% of the American people say we're on the right track, number one. Number two, on the issue of democracy, Trump and Biden are tied on the issue of who would be better for democracy. For all the work they've put into this, they're tied. And the other thing is, if they really thought democracy was actually going to be in danger, our republic is going to go down, why would they be sitting there with Joe Biden? Either they don't believe the talking point, or they're lying, but one of the two. The last thing, this shrinkflation is in the inflation issue itself is one of the reasons why the middle class is flooding to the Republican Party, because these people have flooded the markets with too much money, and guess who's paid for it? All the people in the middle. And by the way, they're also populating our military with their kids, and what are they getting from this economy? Nothing. They're getting nothing, which is why they're losing the middle class and they're losing in the Midwest.
All right, Reince Priebus, thank you. And Brian, our bet is on. We'll see. I'll talk to you either later this week or next week. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.